not broken, you're undisciplined, and that part of you has to die. You keep saying you're tired. You keep saying you're overwhelmed. You keep saying you don't have time. But the truth is simpler. You're not in control. Not of your time, not of your body, not of your mind. You belong to the next notification, the next impulse, the next craving. You're not living, you're reacting. You wake up with the weight, but you don't fight it. You let it win every day. Scroll, swipe, snooze, escape. And you call that living? The ancient Stoics would call it something else. Surrender. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, but his greatest enemy was inside his own mind. He said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." But you've handed over your power. You've made comfort your God. And every time you avoid the hard thing, you trade your potential for a quick fix. I'll start Monday. I'll get serious next year. Once I have more energy, when life slows down. No, you won't. Because you don't need more time. You need more discipline. You don't need another motivational video. You need rules. You need rituals. You need something so sharp it cuts through your excuses. You need war, not against the world, against the voice in your head that keeps whispering, "Stay safe, stay small, stay soft." But the Stoics, they had habits, 10 of them, 10 ideas forged in fire to harden your mind, to build unshakable discipline, to help you become the kind of man who doesn't fold, even when everything else does. Because this world doesn't reward good intentions. It rewards execution. It rewards the few who wake up early, sit in silence, face the cold, choose pain, master their moods, speak less, do more. What does it take to become mentally untouchable? It's not luck. It's not talent. It's not charisma. It's not even intelligence. It's habit. Tiny daily wars, fought in silence, fought without applause. Each habit is a blade. Each moment of discipline, a strike against the weaker version of yourself. The version that watches videos like this, but never does anything with them. So here's the deal. This isn't about becoming superhuman. It's about reclaiming your mind, reclaiming your peace, and walking into the storm without flinching. This is your mirror, and it's going to hurt. But what's more painful, facing your weakness now, or waking up 10 years later still haunted by the same demons? Because you know what hell is? Hell is meeting the version of you that you could have become if you had just gotten serious, if you had just started, if you had just stopped lying to yourself. So let's start. No fluff, no hype, just 10 brutal, tested, ancient habits. They won't make your life easier, but they'll make you stronger. You wake up, your hand reaches, not for purpose, but for your phone. News, messages, algorithms, all screaming for your attention before your eyes are even fully open. And within seconds, you've lost the day. Before you've spoken a word, before you've made a choice, your mind has already been hijacked. And this isn't rare. This is normal now. Normal is anxiety as default. Normal is overthinking every word before it's even spoken. Normal is doom scrolling yourself into numbness. Normal is knowing something's wrong and doing nothing. Everywhere you go, you wear the same weight, pressure without a name, fear without a face, shame without a cause. You feel like you're behind, but you can't explain why. You feel like you're running out of time, but you never had a plan in the first place. You're tired, but it's not physical. It's something deeper. Because when your mind is untrained, everything becomes a threat. Someone else's success becomes an attack. Silence becomes anxiety. Discomfort becomes a signal to escape. Pain becomes a reason to quit. But here's the thing. You are not alone. Billions feel this. Doubt, noise, stress, pressure. The system is built to break your focus, to monetize your fear, to drain your time, to weaken your will. But that doesn't make you a victim. That makes you responsible, because this is the fight. This is your battleground. Not swords, not bullets, but thoughts. Your enemy is invisible, but it's there. Every second you don't decide who you're going to be. So what do you do when you're drowning in comparison, when you can't shut off your brain, when your soul feels fractured and your strength feels fake? What's the answer? It's not therapy memes. It's not motivational quotes. It's not waiting for the right time. It's something older, something brutal, something sharp. Stoicism, but not the watered-down version you've seen online. Not the cute quotes in pastel fonts. I'm talking about Stoicism as a weapon, not a philosophy, a tactic, not an idea, a code. Because the Stoics weren't just thinkers. They were killers of ego, assassins of weakness, warlords of the inner world. They didn't just write books. They buried their children. They led empires. They fought wars. They faced betrayal. They faced pain, and they stood still. Marcus Aurelius wrote his meditations to himself, not to be liked, not to be followed, to survive. Epictetus was born a slave. He learned to control his mind when nothing else was his. Not freedom, not comfort, not even his body. Seneca faced death, not with panic, but with poetry. These men knew what we forget. That suffering is not optional, but weakness is. That chaos is everywhere, but panic is a choice. That the world will never get easier, so you must get harder. Stoicism is not a hug. It's a blade. It cuts the fat off your mind. Your excuses, your softness, your illusions. It is silence when you're dying to react. It is discipline when your body begs for comfort. It is stillness when the world wants chaos. You're not here for philosophy. You're here because you want to take control. Because you're done feeling like a victim of your own thoughts. Because you're ready to stop lying to yourself. So here's the truth. If you want freedom, you need rules. If you want peace, you need war. If you want strength, you need pain. And if you want to be mentally untouchable, then it starts with 10 habits, 10 daily weapons, 10 small acts of war against the weaker version of you. We begin now. Habit 1. The Morning Fortress. The moment you open your eyes, you are either in control or being controlled. There is no neutral ground. There is no gentle start. The world is already moving. And if you wake up weak, you will be left behind. That's why the morning is not a routine. It's a fortress. Not a spa, not self-care, not incense and sunlight. A fortress. Built in silence, reinforced with pain, secured with repetition. Because your mind, when it wakes, is vulnerable. It's soft. It's chaotic. It wants comfort. It wants dopamine. It wants to be told what to do. So you tell it. Ruthlessly. You wake up before the world wakes you. You reclaim your time before anyone steals it. No phone, no emails, no messages, no noise. Just you and the fight for your focus. Step 1. The mind dump. Get every thought out, every fear, every complaint, every weak emotion onto the page. You do not negotiate with your mind. You expose it. You empty it. You remove the mental trash before it buries you. This isn't pretty journaling. It's raw, it's surgical, it's brutal honesty on paper. Your journal becomes your battleground. Your pen becomes a blade. You don't write what you should feel. You write what's real, so you can deal with it. Step 2. Rehearsal of the day. Don't just react to life. Prepare for it. Visualize the problems. Anticipate the chaos. Plan your response like a soldier. What will you say when you're challenged? How will you hold the line when discomfort comes? Because it will come. The only question is, will you collapse or will you execute? Step 3. Physical pain. Not optional, not someday. Every morning. The mind fears what the body avoids, and most people avoid everything. Heat, cold, stillness, sweat. They run from it and then wonder why their mind breaks under pressure. You don't. You step into discomfort willingly. Ice bath, push-ups, running when you're tired, fasting when you're hungry, silence when you want noise. Not because it's fun, because it's war. The morning fortress isn't about feeling good. It's about becoming unshakable. While others are waking up to chaos, you're confronting it. While others are drowning in thoughts, you've cleared yours. While others are still scrolling, you've already won the day. You're not trying to motivate yourself. Motivation is weak. It fades. It lies. You're trying to become someone who does what must be done, regardless of how you feel. That transformation doesn't happen by accident. It happens in the morning. It happens in darkness. It happens when nobody's watching. So ask yourself, what does your morning build? A fortress or a prison? You want freedom? Earn it before sunrise. Habit 2. Practice voluntary discomfort. Every month, Seneca, the wealthiest philosopher of his time, slept on the ground, ate stale bread, wore his worst clothes, and asked himself one question: is this what I feared? He didn't do it for suffering. He did it for clarity. Because the most dangerous lies are the ones comfort tells you. We don't suffer like our ancestors. We scroll. We don't feel hunger. We snack. We don't feel cold. We click a thermostat, and every time we escape discomfort, we trade a piece of our strength. Comfort is not evil, but when you worship it, it destroys you. When's the last time you did something painful on purpose? Not for results, not for appearance, not to show off, just to prove to yourself that you still can. Today, we think discipline is for the extreme. We think endurance is for the unlucky. Meanwhile, your strength is rotting in the luxury you built around yourself. Your mind knows this. That's why it whispers at night. You're soft. You can't handle real life. You break too easily. It's not wrong, but it doesn't have to stay true. Let's talk applications. Cold showers, not for health, for war. Every morning, your brain offers you an out. Just make it warm. You don't need this today. You'll still be productive. You say no, and you step in. Not because it's cold, but because you chose it. Fasting. Don't eat. Not forever. Just long enough to learn that hunger won't kill you. You don't need 6 meals. You need restraint. You need to sit at the table with an empty plate and feel the panic, and still do nothing. Why? Because if you can't handle hunger, you'll never handle temptation. Saying no to sugar, to parties, to extra sleep, to invitations you don't want, to your phone, buzzing in your pocket like a child begging for candy. Every no is a strike against your weakness. Every no is a yes to self-mastery. The Stoics didn't admire those who avoided pain. They admired those who chose it deliberately, because pain, when chosen, becomes power. Seneca understood this. He could lose his wealth, his home, his life, and remain calm. Why? Because once you've suffered by choice, you are no longer scared by chance. The world can take your money, your health, your loved ones, your name, but it can't take your mind. If it no longer fears discomfort, you think comfort is your reward. It's your addiction. It's your leash. Discomfort is your freedom. Because when you invite hardship into your life, you gain distance. Distance between you and your cravings, between you and your anxiety, between you and your compulsions. You gain space, and in that space, you choose. Not reaction, action, not compulsion, control, not comfort, clarity. Set aside now and then a number of days to live as the poor do, to eat little, to sleep less, and ask yourself, is this what I feared? Because if the answer is no, then nothing owns you anymore. Habit 3. Control the first reaction. Someone stole Epictetus's lamp. It was old, simple, but his. A student took it, probably thinking, he'll be furious. Maybe he'll throw me out. Maybe this will shake him. But he didn't scream, didn't snap, didn't say, "Who the hell took my lamp?" He just looked around, smiled, and said quietly, "That's why I don't leave valuable things out." That's it. That's the whole story. But behind that story is a weapon. The average person explodes 10 times a day. A missed call, a text with the wrong tone, a driver who cuts you off, a boss who looks at you the wrong way. It doesn't take much, because most people live in a reaction mode. Snap, justify, regret. You've been there, haven't you? You say something you didn't mean. You send that text too fast. You slam the door a little too hard. And 5 minutes later, your brain whispers, "Why did you do that?" Because you didn't control the first reaction. And the first reaction is everything. Here's what Epictetus taught. It's not events that disturb us. It's our judgment about them. Think about that. It's not the thing. It's how you label the thing, how you interpret it, what story you tell yourself immediately. He said, if someone insults you and it makes you angry, it's because somewhere inside you agree with them. Oof, that one stings, but it's true. You don't need to be cold. You don't need to be perfect, but you do need to be in control. So how? Let's break this down. Application. Pause. That's it. You get hit with a comment, an insult, an inconvenience. Your body tightens. Your mind flares. Don't react. Don't explain. Don't defend. Just pause. Count to 3. Feel the feeling. But don't obey it. Emotions aren't commands, they're bulked data. Observe it. Name it. Then ask, is this the reaction I want to remember myself by? You think that's weak? That's power, because anyone can punch a wall, anyone can yell, slam, block, storm off, break something, throw words like knives. But self-control, that's rare, that's dangerous. Here's the challenge. Try going 1 full day without reacting emotionally, not repressing, not bottling, just watching. You'll realize most of what you think is urgent isn't. Most of what makes you snap fades after 5 minutes. Most of your anger is just fear dressed in armor. And here's the secret. The calmer you stay, the more powerful you become. You become untouchable, not because the world changes, but because you do. The Stoics weren't emotionless. They were emotional, just intentional. They didn't let the first reaction ruin the next 10. They built space between stimulus and response. And in that space, they found control. And in that control, they found freedom. You want an edge in this world? Control the first reaction, because most people are slaves to their impulses. You pause, you choose, and that choice changes everything. Habit 4. Negative visualization. He imagined his wife dying, not because he was cruel, not because he wanted her gone, but because he loved her, and he knew love is fragile. That fate doesn't ask for permission, that no one is owed another tomorrow. So he pictured it, intentionally, just for a moment. What would it be like if she never walked back through that door? You see, the Stoics had a practice, one of the most misunderstood, most uncomfortable, and most powerful ideas they ever wrote down: negative visualization. Let's call it what it is: imagining the worst on purpose. Now, before you roll your eyes and say, "That's depressing, that's dark, that's unnecessary," let me ask you something. Have you ever had something you didn't fully appreciate until it was gone? A relationship, your health, your peace, your youth, a simple, ordinary day. You never realized how lucky you were until it ended. Negative visualization is how you avoid that regret. It's not being morbid, it's being awake. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think. Marcus Aurelius. He didn't say goodbye, didn't say thank you, didn't even look, because he assumed, "I'll come home, they'll be here, there'll be time later." But there are people, millions of them, who said that yesterday and never got there later. Negative visualization isn't about living in fear. It's about living with urgency, with presence. What if you lost your job tomorrow? What if you could never walk again? What if this conversation, this breakfast, this sunset was the last? You don't panic. You pause. And you appreciate it like you never have before. That coffee hits different. That hug lingers longer. That smile becomes sacred. Because now you see it. You see how much you have and how little control you have over keeping it. Anxiety is often born from the illusion of permanence. We walk through life entitled to things we never truly owned. So when life does take them away, we spiral because we never braced for the reality that nothing stays. Negative visualization doesn't hurt you. It frees you. It softens your grip on things you can't control and sharpens your focus on what you can. You want to feel gratitude in your bones? You want to stop wasting your life chasing nonsense? Here's the practice. Once a day, maybe when you wake up, maybe before you sleep, close your eyes. Picture someone you love. Now picture never seeing them again. Let it hit you. Let it make your chest tighten. Let it ache just for a moment. Then open your eyes, look at them, and act accordingly. Don't say, "I love you," tomorrow. Say it now. Don't save your best self for someday. Bring it today. You're not promised 1,000 more chances. You might not even get 10. Negative visualization gives you urgency without panic, gratitude without complacency. It teaches you to stop sleepwalking through what matters most, to recognize this moment, this one, as enough. Don't run from the thought of loss. Train with it, because when you anticipate loss, you learn to appreciate what stays. And when life finally takes something from you, you're not destroyed. You're grateful it was ever yours at all. Habit 5. Kill the echo chamber. Marcus Aurelius was the most powerful man on earth. He could have surrounded himself with praise, yes men, and flattering words. And yet, he read people who disagreed with him. Let that sink in. Today, we don't read opposing ideas. We block them, we unfollow them, we mute, cancel, swipe, discard. And slowly, without realizing it, we build a prison. Not with bars, but with agreement. This is the echo chamber, a world where the only voice you hear is your own, played back to you. It feels good, it feels safe, it feels like you're always the smartest person in the room. But here's the thing, if you're never challenged, you're never learning, you're just repeating. We're raising a generation that thinks disagreement is violence, that being uncomfortable means someone else is wrong, that truth is whatever makes you feel good. But Marcus didn't think that way. Seneca didn't either. Neither did Epictetus. They sought out opposing ideas because they were after truth, not ego. Because truth doesn't care about your preferences. It doesn't show up wrapped in compliments. It shows up in friction. The ideas that challenge you the most are often the ones you need the most. So here's the habit. Kill the echo chamber. Intentionally, surgically, ruthlessly, expose yourself to views that disagree with you. Follow someone you dislike, but who makes a good point. Read a book that offends you. Watch a lecture that makes your blood boil. Not to convert, not to abandon your beliefs, but to test them, to see if they can hold their weight under fire. Because if your beliefs crack the moment they're questioned, maybe they weren't as solid as you thought. Steel isn't forged in comfort. It's forged in fire. The mind works the same way. The echo chamber makes you feel wise. But it's a trap, a padded cell dressed up as enlightenment. Because the moment reality punches you in the face, when your beliefs don't work, when your assumptions fall apart, when life gets real, you won't be ready. You'll have no muscle, no resilience, no capacity to handle what doesn't flatter you. Real wisdom begins where comfort ends. And real progress? That happens the second you say, "What if I'm wrong?" Here's a 3-day challenge. 1. Follow someone you disagree with politically. 2. Read one book outside your belief system. 3. Have one conversation where you only ask questions. No defending, no rebutting, just listen. If that sounds terrifying, good. That means you're growing. This habit isn't comfortable, it's not easy, but it's necessary, because the moment you kill the echo chamber, you create space. Space for truth, space for growth, space for becoming something more than just a louder version of yesterday. He wasn't trying to be right, he was trying to be true, and that's what made him untouchable. You've seen the tools, now let's sharpen the blade. Habit 1, the morning fortress. Habit 2, voluntary discomfort. Habit 3, control the first reaction. Habit 4, negative visualization. Habit 5, kill the echo chamber. These weren't just habits, they were your foundation. The training ground, the arena where softness was burned off. Now we go to war, not against others, not even the world, against the weak version of you, the one that folds, hesitates, reacts. That part still exists, and if left unchecked, it wins. The man who builds the fortress must now learn how to defend it, because discipline isn't the goal. Dominance over your own mind is. Welcome to the second half. Let's sharpen the blade. Habit 6. Speak less, do more. You ever notice how the ones doing the least talking often get the most done? Let me ask you something. When's the last time you told someone your goals and then actually followed through? Or promised yourself, this time for real, I'll get serious, I'll wake up early, I'll cut the distractions, only to fall back again. Talk is easy. That's why so many do it. And Marcus Aurelius, even he had to remind himself, Don't waste time talking like a philosopher, live like one. See, he wasn't tweeting out quotes. He wasn't giving lectures. He was journaling to himself, holding himself accountable, and then walking out into the chaos of Rome to do what needed to be done. Here's the truth. Most people talk to feel progress, to feel like they're moving. They say it, and it tricks their brain into believing they've done it. But Stoicism doesn't care what you say, only what you do. Don't explain your philosophy, embody it. You're not owed applause for intentions, only for results. We've all been that person, the philosopher in words, but that version of you, that talker, that theorizer, that loud, unproven voice in your head, that part has to die. Let's do something uncomfortable, right now, today. A 24-hour challenge. No big declarations, no telling friends, no sharing your new mindset online. Just silence and action. Cook your food, train your body, sit in silence, write, work, finish the thing. Say nothing about it, not even to yourself. Just be the person you keep trying to describe. Because here's the hidden power in silence. It becomes undeniable. No one doubts the silent man who shows up every day. No one questions the woman who executes without making noise. You stop needing validation. When your results speak louder than your words ever could, which one are you? You don't owe the world an explanation. You owe it a demonstration. Speak less. Do more. Let your silence become your power. Habit 7. Conquer the evening. There's something no one tells you. It's not how you start the day that defines you. It's how you end it. Because the truth is, most people lose the battle in the final hours. They survive the day, but let the night destroy them. Think about it. That moment you've done all you needed to do. You've worked, you've trained, you've kept it together. But then, you relax the grip. You let yourself indulge. You say, just tonight. I'll be disciplined again tomorrow. Tomorrow. That word has killed more potential than failure ever has. You think Marcus waited until the morning to self-correct? No. Every night, he sat down, alone, and wrote. Not for likes, not for followers. For one thing only, truth. What did I do wrong? What did I do right? What could I do better? That's how you conquer the evening. So here's the practice. At the end of the day, sit down. And don't just review your to-do list. Review your character. Ask yourself, honestly, where did I lose control? Where did I show strength? Did I react emotionally? Or respond with reason? Was I the person I'm trying to become? Write it down, not for performance, for alignment. Because if your mornings set the tone, your evenings seal your identity. And most of us, we seal it with distraction, TV blaring, phone glowing, mind racing, and then we wonder why we feel empty the next morning. It's not because we're broken, it's because we keep closing the day with disorder. He who is brave enough to face his reflection each night has nothing to fear by daylight. Let that sink in. Let's make this practical. Try this. A 3-question ritual. Every single night. What did I do today that made me stronger? Where did I slip and what triggered it? What must I protect myself from tomorrow? You don't need an app. You don't need a system. You need a mirror. And sometimes a pen is the sharpest mirror you'll ever hold. And here's the thing. The world celebrates the morning warriors, the 5 a.m. grinders, the cold shower addicts. But no one talks about the night guardians, the ones who say no to Netflix, the ones who shut it all down on time, the ones who choose reflection over escape. Those people, They build fortresses of identity while everyone else is asleep in illusion. Let me ask you, what would happen if you ended every night with precision? Not chaos, not noise, but control. This is the shift. You don't go to war in the morning. You prepare for war the night before. The man who conquers the evening wakes up a warrior. So tonight, before you close your eyes, ask, face, sharpen. Because the day doesn't start when you wake up. It starts when you decide who you'll be tomorrow. And that decision is made tonight. Habit 8. Master the internal dialogue. Let me ask you something. What voice do you hear when you're alone? I'm not talking about the one you use in conversation or the one you perform with online. I mean the real one, the one that speaks when the noise dies down, the one that narrates your every move. Because here's the truth, you live with that voice, day in, day out, 24/7. No mute button, no escape. And for most people, that voice is a tyrant. We treat it like background noise, but it's not background, it's the script. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. He knew it. He didn't say actions, he said thoughts. Because the quality of your life isn't determined just by what you do. It's shaped by what you say to yourself when no one else is listening. Here's the harsh reality. Your internal dialogue is either a weapon or a wound, and you trained it. We don't realize it, but we're constantly reinforcing something. Every complaint, every excuse, every time you say, I can't, I suck at this, why does this always happen to me? You're training your inner voice to become your greatest enemy. And that enemy doesn't need chains or guns. It just needs a pattern. Let's flip the script. Let's talk about what it means to master that voice. Step 1, catch it. Awareness before control. Most people don't even notice what their inner voice is saying. It just runs on autopilot, default mode, scarcity, fear, shame. So start listening. Not judging, just listening. You hear it say, you'll never make it. Pause. Where did that come from? A parent? An old failure? Some random moment in high school? Not truth, just repetition. Once you hear it, rewrite it. Not with cheesy affirmations, not with fake positivity, with discipline. You don't need to say, I'm the best. You just need to say, I don't quit. That's power. That's real. Let me give you an example. You wake up late, you miss a workout. Old script? I'm lazy. I'll never stick to anything. New script? I slipped. But I'm the kind of person who gets back on track immediately. That subtle shift, that's where identity begins. Here's the question to carry. Would you tolerate someone else talking to you the way you talk to yourself? If not, you've got a job to do. And this isn't just mental fluff. Mastering your inner dialogue creates resistance armor. You will face chaos. People will criticize. Life will slap you in the face. But if your inner voice is aligned, you don't bend. Why? Because you're no longer reacting to life. You're responding from a place of grounded clarity. Here's a Stoic principle worth tattooing on your life. It's not things that disturb us, but our opinions about them. Epictetus. Now go one level deeper. It's not events. It's not people. It's your interpretation of those things, shaped by the voice inside your own skull. Control that voice, you control your world. Let's make it practical. Here's a challenge. For 24 hours, audit every negative thought. I'm tired. I suck at this. This always happens. What's the point? Every time it shows up, you interrupt it. You don't argue. You don't analyze. You redirect. Try. This is hard, but I've done hard things before. This sucks, but it's building something in me. I feel weak. That's exactly why I must go on. This is mental alchemy, turning pain into fuel, self-doubt into clarity, noise into command. Your mind is a battlefield, and the voice inside it is either your greatest soldier or your silent assassin. Mastering it, that's not a one-time thing. It's a war, one sentence at a time. So speak like someone who's building something. Think like someone with a sword to sharpen. Because when the world gets loud and everything outside tries to break you, it's the quiet words you tell yourself that either keep you grounded or shatter everything you've built. The next battle won't start outside. It'll start right between your ears. And if you win that one, the rest is just execution. Habit 9. View every obstacle as fuel. The Roman Empire was at war. Plague, rebellion, famine. Men were dying in heaps. And Marcus Aurelius, the emperor, was not in a palace. He was in the mud, with them, surrounded by suffering, betrayal, chaos. But he wasn't just leading legions. He was writing. Right there, in that chaos, came Meditations, one of the most important pieces of philosophy ever written. Think about that. He didn't wait for peace. He didn't wait for silence. He didn't say, "I'll get back to this when things calm down." No, he sharpened his mind in the storm. He created something timeless because of the chaos, not in spite of it. Here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. You want growth? You want strength? Then stop running from the pain. Stop praying for comfort. Stop hoping life will smooth itself out, because it won't. And here's what the Stoics knew, what Marcus Aurelius etched into the dirt with a broken hand. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Let that sit with you. The thing you're avoiding, that's your classroom. That failure, that's your curriculum. That heartbreak, that betrayal, that setback, that's the forge. Here's the ugly truth. You're not being punished, you're being trained. Let's get real. Most people avoid discomfort like it's poison. They'll stay in the same job for 10 years because interviewing is awkward. They'll stay stuck in the same habits because change is hard. They'll quit as soon as something pushes back because they thought the path would be smooth. But the Stoic doesn't flinch because they know obstacle equals opportunity. You missed the shot? Good. Now you know what to work on. You got rejected? Good. Now you build thicker skin. You failed in public? Perfect. Now you're immune to shame. Every blow makes you more unbreakable if you choose to learn from it. Pain is the sharpening stone. The question is, are you going to press into it or keep your edge dull forever? Let me show you the shift. Instead of, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this shaping in me? Instead of, this is unfair. Try, this is fuel. Instead of, I can't take this. Say, this is my test. You know who's unstoppable? Not the person who avoids all pain. That person doesn't exist. It's the one who walks into fire and builds a house in the smoke because they've chosen a different frame. Every obstacle is an invitation. Think about it. How many things in your life looked like the end at the time, but became the very thing that made you stronger? The breakup that humbled you, the layoff that redirected you, the injury that taught you patience, the no that led to the yes you actually needed. You didn't just survive those things, you became you because of them. This is what the Stoics trained for. Not a perfect life, not a safe life, a strong life, one that doesn't break every time life gets loud. Here's your challenge. The next time life punches you in the face, don't flinch, don't complain, don't spiral. Pause, look it straight in the eyes, and say, good, more fuel. Because every obstacle carries a question. Are you going to use this, or let it use you? Marcus didn't write Meditations in peace. He wrote them under siege, which means you don't need perfect conditions. You just need one mindset. What's in the way is the way. So go forward, not avoiding the wall, but climbing it, hammering it, breaking it down, because you weren't made for easy, you were made for war. Habit 10. Practice present moment awareness. We live like time is infinite, rushing from one tab to the next notification, thinking about what we said yesterday, worrying about what might happen tomorrow. But here's the question no one asks. When was the last time you were actually here? I mean really here. Not half scrolling, not half listening, not mentally already in next week's meeting. Just here. Seneca, one of the great Stoic minds, once said, "True happiness is to live in the present. Not in some exotic future, not after you hit your goals, but now." But that's hard, isn't it? Because now feels so boring, so ordinary, so small. The mind resists it. It keeps telling you, there's something better coming, something out there, something else. And it seduces you with endless distractions. Your phone, your fantasies, your fears. Distraction has become the default. We're not really alive. We're just reacting. From dopamine spike to dopamine spike. But here's what the Stoics knew, long before social media was even a concept. Life doesn't exist anywhere but here. This moment, this breath, this step you're taking, that's where your power is. Seneca practiced stillness, not because it looked cool, but because it was the antidote to chaos. He knew the mind could go mad chasing phantoms. So he grounded himself, one breath at a time. Let's talk about you now. How often do you feel overwhelmed, scattered, tense, for no reason? It's not because you're weak. It's because your mind is constantly leaving the room, racing into imagined futures, dragging old conversations from the past. You know what that voice sounds like. What if this doesn't work out? I should have said something different. I need to fix this fast. But here's the truth. The future doesn't exist. The past is already gone. All you ever have is this. So how do we start reclaiming it? Let's break it down. Step 1, breathe. Not shallow, not automated, but deliberate. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Right now, try it. Inhale, exhale. Feel that? That's you, landing back in the moment. Step 2, single task. Multitasking is a lie. It's not efficiency. It's fragmentation. Do one thing, do it well. Be there while you're doing it. Cook like it matters. Write like it's sacred. Listen like it's the last conversation you'll ever have. Step 3. Notice the way the sunlight hits the wall, the sound of your footsteps, the rise and fall of your chest. These things aren't insignificant. They're the thread of life itself. Your moments are trying to speak to you, but you've got to slow down enough to hear them. This is not about becoming some Zen master. This is about not being owned by your own thoughts. Because the less present you are, the more life starts to feel like it's owning you. You're always reacting, always chasing, never arriving. But if you master this, if you can pause when everyone else panics, if you can be present in a world addicted to distraction, you become rare. And in that presence, you find power. Because when you're truly here, fear can't grab you, the past can't haunt you, the future can't bully you. You're grounded, unmoved, alive. So here's your challenge. For the next 24 hours, catch yourself leaving the moment and pull yourself back. Breathe, notice. Do just one thing at a time, not forever, just today. And if you fail, that's fine. Come back again and again and again. Because presence isn't a destination, it's a discipline, a habit, a shield. And once you master it, nothing can own you. Not your phone, not your fear, not even time. At some point, the world will test everything you've built. It won't knock first. It won't care how tired you are. It won't ask if now's a good time. The winds will rise, the noise will get loud, and life will ask you a question, not with words, but with pressure. What have you made of yourself? If you've built your life on praise, it'll crumble with criticism. If you've built it on control, you'll break when things fall apart. If you've built it on being seen, you'll disappear the moment no one's watching. But if you've built it within, that's different. That can't be touched. You can't be broken. You can only forget who you are. You can't be controlled. You can only give it away. You are not your feelings. You are your focus. Remember this. The world doesn't owe you peace. It's on you to create it, to protect it, to return to it over and over again. Because the most dangerous thing in a chaotic world is a person who cannot be shaken. So here's your final challenge. No speech, no announcement, just this. Be quiet, work hard, become untouchable. If this made you think, if it gave you something to hold on to, if it challenged the way you see yourself, then don't keep it to yourself. Share it. Someone out there needs to hear this just as much as you did. And if you want more like this, more truth, more discipline, more silence in a world screaming for your attention, then subscribe to the channel. This is only the beginning. Be quiet, work